We next go to my good friend, Mr. Pocan from Wisconsin.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here. Last night on our Facebook page, I said you were coming before the committee. Got over 100 different questions, but I'm going to try to cover some of the topics they covered. I was very heartened to hear you say that the budget is about students, not special interests. It's about the faces of the students. A lot of the questions came in around gun violence. They're concerned not just about the faces, but the hearts and the minds and the lives of the students. If you go to school in the morning, you're able to go home alive at the end of the day, and that hasn't been happening. You once in an interview said, I would imagine that there is probably a gun in the schools to protect from potential grizzlies. Is it still your opinion that we need guns in schools to protect from grizzlies?
Thanks, Congressman, for that question. And if I had it over today, I probably would have used a different example. The point was that if there are going to be guns in schools, they need to be in the hands of the right people and those who are going to protect students and ensure their safety. And that is the point.
So I appreciate that, because I agree there's not a grizzly bear problem in this country. There's a gun violence problem in the country. And then a few weeks ago, the president seemed to be on board with some sensible alternatives, and then he met with the NRA, and the sensible alternatives went out the door. Are you a member of the NRA by any chance?
I am not.
You're not, okay. I was wondering specifically, do you know how many school shootings and incidences involving guns have taken place in schools since you were confirmed last year?
Too many.
Too many, yeah. So it's over 85. In fact, that number this morning increased. At least 2 people were injured in Maryland. 17 lives recently in Parkland. In your comments, you made a comment about trying to prevent young people from getting guns. Does that mean you support banning the purchase of guns for people under 21?
The president has indicated support for that. I think it's an important issue for this body to deal with. I would like to think that this body and Congress could go ahead and get progress on some of the things that are broadly supported, and I encourage, and the president has certainly encouraged that.
And so you support that?
The president has said that that should be a part of the consideration. That's actually part of the study that the School Safety Commission will be looking at and making a recommendation on.
So you support that?
The president has indicated his support.
I gotcha. Okay, so
I have not
someday maybe we'll
reached a
find out where you're on it, but the
myself.
president supports it. I got that. Okay. This Friday, the Parkland students are going to be up here. Would you be willing to sit down? I know you had a meeting with the president, but you didn't get a lot of one-on-one time. These students really would like to be heard. I'm staying an extra day just to meet with them. Would you be willing to meet with the Parkland students? We'd be glad to facilitate a meeting.
I look forward to meeting with Parkland students. I have actually talked with a few of them about meeting them in Parkland at a time that is workable for both of us.
Sure. Are you available this Friday to meet with them when they're in town?
I don't know. I can't say right now what my schedule is.
If we could just follow up with that, we would certainly appreciate it. Let's see. I'm being given. Oh, so now the president maybe is saying not to raise age. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all right. We'll find that out. On voucher schools, I want to associate myself with the remarks from our ranking member of the committee on the GAO report, because I do think there are concerns there. I know another interview, you made a comment just recently that you haven't visited poor performing schools. I think that's another one you'd like to reel back.
As secretary, I have made a point of visiting schools that are doing things creatively, innovatively, out-of-the-box thinking. I think it would be important to visit some poor-performing schools.
Great.
I think the question is, will they let me in?
So that's the exact place I'm going, but you and I are in the same wavelength. So are you willing to meet with some schools that are poor performing schools?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there are, according to a recent article in Milwaukee Journal, at least 26 choice schools, which I know you're a big advocate for. They're performing way below the standards and level they're supposed to. So I would love to meet you in Wisconsin. And one of them that ranks the lowest recently said, we don't let people from the media in our building, and they're the lowest of 121 schools in the Milwaukee area. I would love to go to one of those with you, because I have seen the problems in my state. As you know, we're one of the early adapters of the choice program, just to see exactly what that problem is. We have 140 private schools voucher schools statewide that couldn't be rated because they won't provide the information. Do you think that's right, that the state of Wisconsin, as much as you want to give the state rights, can't even get the information from schools that are ultimately getting some sort of federal dollars because they are a choice program?
Congressman, Wisconsin has legislated their program and their accountabilities to the.
But do you think it's right, is the question?
I think parents and I think.
Do you think
taxpayers-
it's right?
I think parents and taxpayers.
just
I think
asking for your
parents and taxpayers need to have more information, not less. And the goal of this administration and this department is to ensure that all children have an equal opportunity.
So I'm going to
to
take it
access
that
a
you
great
think they
education.
should have to report. Is that fair?
I am going to, I have been focused on ensuring that children and students and parents have opportunities to make the right education decision for them. And I support those parents in Wisconsin who have made choices for their children. I'm not going to comment on the Wisconsin method of reporting and
So
accountability.
you don't think those schools should have to provide
I think all
information?
Time
parents
has
need to have information, and I
All right,
think
I
all
appreciate it.
taxpayers
Maybe if we get
need
a
to have
second round, I can
information.
get more. Thank you.
I'd advise every member of the